Hey, what's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Abhinav Vengala and today we are going to discuss about the topic B.tech. Yeah, you heard it right, it's Bachelor of Technologies. As you all guys know, I'm in my 4th year of my BTech, and so I want to make a video on the BTech. I've studied computer science and engineering. So BTech has 6 branches: computer science, IT, EEE, EC, civil and mechanical. So I'm not going to cover all the 6 streams, but I'm just going to concentrate on computer science in this video. Today I'm going to tell you guys all the subjects and give a brief synopsis of each subject in computer science and engineering. I think there are around 40 subjects in computer science and engineering BTech. So I'm going to explain each and every subject and what is it about and different units of this subject. And most probably I'm going to tell most of the syllabus from R16 regulation. It will be useful for the upcoming BTech students also. So if that sounds interesting, let's get into the video. So firstly, I would like to tell you that as there are 4 different years in BTech, I want to just split this video into 4 different parts, and in this today's video I'm going to just tell about the first part, that is first year BTech subjects. So first year is now divided into just 2 semesters, and first semester and second semester. So I'm going to tell and explain all the subjects of the first year in this video. So let's get into it. Most of the subjects in the BTech are similar to the subjects that you have already studied in your intermediate. So the first year of your engineering, all the subjects that include in the first semester and also in the second semester are same as your intermediate subjects, but with a little of advanced syllabus will be there. Most of your syllabus in your BTech first year is same for all the branches like CSE, IT and etc. branches. So the first year syllabus is going to be same, and most of the syllabus that you are going to see in the first year similar to that of your intermediate standards. But in BTech, you will be getting some of the advanced topics that is like an extension to your intermediate. The first subject that I am going to discuss today is Mathematics 1. Yeah, it is the most difficult subject in your BTech. Most of the memes are going on in Instagram, right? First of all, I would like to tell you the chapters of this subject. The first chapter is Initial Value Problems and Application. And the second one is Linear Systems of Equation. Third one is Eigenvalues, Eigenvectors and Quadratic Forms. And the fourth one is Partial Differentiation. And the fifth chapter is First Order Partial Differential Equations. By seeing these chapter names, some of the chapters that I was telling were already in your intermediate syllabus. So the things that you have learned in intermediate are same repeated in those chapters. So it's not a very tough task for you to complete it. This M1 subjects mostly depends on the differential equations and differentiation and different types of differentiation that you have learned in your intermediate. And the next subject in your list is engineering chemistry. The chemistry that you have studied in your intermediate is also repeated here. The syllabus is Chapter 1 Water and its treatment, Chapter 2 Electrochemistry and batteries, Chapter 3 Polymers, plastics, Chapter 4 Fuels and combustion, Chapter 5 Cement, refractories, lubricants and composites. As I've told you, this subject is also mostly taken from your intermediate syllabus. The last chapter, that is cements and these composites, are nothing but that is mostly used in the cement civil engineering sector. And the next subject on the list is Engineering Physics 1. Yeah, 1, because engineering physics has 2 parts. In the first part, the first chapter is interference. The second is polarization and lasers. And the third chapter is fiber optics. And the fourth one is crystallography. And the fifth one is X-ray diffraction and defects in crystals. As I was telling all the 5 chapters, engineering physics is mostly dealing with the light sector, because light has different properties like reflection, diffraction, polarization, interference. All these effects are explained in this subject detailedly. Fiber optics, that is the optical fiber network that we are using as internet nowadays, is also explained how it is being used in making your internet now. And different types of reactions when a light passes through a crystal is also explained in this subject. And the next subject is Professional Communication in English. This is not that much important subject, but in this subject mostly deals with the English and how to speak English and how to speak English in a corporate and a professional world. And the next subject on the list is engineering mechanics. This subject is mostly relevant to the mechanical engineering stream. In this subject, first chapter is introduction to mechanics, and the second one is friction. The third one is centroid and center of gravity, and the fourth chapter is mass, moment and inertia, and the last one is kinetics. As again, when you're looking into these chapters, you are going to get some ideas from the intermediate. You're right, those same things that are in the physics, most of the things are in this mechanics subject, like inertia, friction, etc. stuff, which are already there in your intermediate. The most important thing in the engineering mechanics is free body diagrams. And the next subject on the list is basic electrical and electronics engineering, which is b.tech. This is one of the hardest subjects in the first year, first semester. This subject mostly belongs to the EEEE side. The first chapter in this subject is electrical circuits. Second one is resonance. Third one is PN junction diode. Fourth one is bipolar junction transistors. The fifth one is junction field effect transistor. Mostly this subject deals with the electronics like circuits and how to connect the circuits, what are the different transistors and what are the different diodes used in the circuits. And the next subject on the list is English language communication skills, which is ELCS lab. This subject is also similar to the subject that I have already told about English, which deals with the real-time communication skills, which is one of the easiest subjects in the BTech. The last subject in 117 is engineering workshop. In this engineering workshop, they will give you some metals and they will give you some wood, and they will ask you to cut that wood or metal with the required tools and what the tools are used for cutting those items, and you have to just transform those pieces of wood and metal into a shape that is useful by the human beings. That's all from the first year, first sem syllabus. Now let's go into the first year, second semester of the BTech, and the first subject in this first year, second semester is engineering physics. Yeah, already I've completed engineering physics in the first semester. So this is the continuation of the engineering physics 1, and this is called as engineering physics 2, which is the second part of the engineering physics 1. Let's get into the chapter wise explanation. The first subject is principles of quantum mechanics. In this subject, as the name mentions, totally we are going to discuss about the quantum physics, which is the latest invention in the physics. The second chapter is semiconductor physics. The third chapter is dielectric properties, and the fourth one is magnetic properties and superconductivity, and the fifth one is the introduction to nanoscience. Yeah, because nanotechnology, which is also the latest technology that's evolving nowadays. So these are the 5 chapters in this engineering physics 2. Now let's get into the next subject, that is the mathematics 2, which is also called as M2. The first chapter in this subject is Laplace transforms, and the second chapter is gamma beta functions, and the third one is multiple integrations, and the fourth one is vector differentiation, and the fifth one is vector integration. The last 2 chapters, as you have heard, vector differentiation and integration, these two are same like the differentiation and integrations that you have done in the intermediate level, but they are done on the vector side. And the next chapter is M3, that is the mathematics 3. Yeah, you may be thinking how many maths are there. There are 4 maths for your confirmation. The unit 1 is random variables and distributions. The second chapter is the sample theory, and the third one is tests of hypothesis, and the fourth one is algebraics and transcendental equations and curve fittings. It is a long subject, but it's not as tough as it looks. Final chapter is numerical integration and the solution for the differential equations. This M3 subject deals with the random variable stuff, means the probability side of the mathematics which you have been learning in the intermediate. That side of the maths is very much touched in this M3 subject. As always, integration and differentiation is also a part of it. Okay, now getting into the core subject of this computer science engineering. This is the first subject that is related to your computer science stream, that is computer programming in C. Yeah, this subject is for C programming. The first unit in this is the introduction to C language, where you will be getting to know the conditional statements, basic stuff about the C programming language. The second unit is the functions and arrays, and third chapter is the pointers, and the fourth chapter is enumerated structures and union types, and the last chapter is the input and output streams. So in this subject, we have totally discussed from the basics to somewhat advanced level of the C programming language. If you understand all the 5 chapters in this subject, it will be very much useful while going to the next years in the BTech. Next chapter is engineering graphics. Yeah, it is also called as engineering drawing. The first chapter is same introduction to engineering graphics, and the second unit is orthographic projections, and the third one is projections of regular solids, and the fourth one is sections or sectional view of the right regular solids, and the fifth one is isometric projections. All these chapters may be confusing to you guys, but these are very much simple. That it is basically related to the civil engineering side, because in this there will be a sheet of chart that is going to be given to you in the examination hall. The question may be like, you have to draw a cube which shows the top layer of the cube. Like that types of questions will be coming. So if you draw a cube, and if the question is that draw the top layer of the cube, means the top view of the cube, then you have to just draw a square. So like there's very easy questions will be there in this engineering drawings. And the next subject is engineering chemistry lab. Nothing much fancy about it, but just mixing all the chemicals and getting a new output. And the next subject is engineering physics lab. All the things that you have learned in the engineering EP1 and EP2 are being practically implemented in this lab. And the next subject is the computer programming in C lab. The programs that you are going to learn in this computer programming in C is going to be implemented in this lab. You have to just go to the lab and just execute the programs that you have learned in the theory part. I hope you have gained some knowledge and information about the BTech subjects and some basic knowledge and basic overview of all the subjects in the BTech. If you want to know more about the details of the subject of the second year, third year and the fourth year, I will be making videos soon in this YouTube channel. So if you don't want to miss that, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell icon so that you don't miss any of my future updates. And that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in my next video. Cheers.